People are making me angry.
That was make you angry?
A lot of people talking about this whole Chris Paul and Devin Booker situation.
So a lot of people talking about this Chris Paul and Devin Booker situation. What situation?
The situation is like who's more valuable, who's the best player on the team. Because you look at the MVP standings, Chris Paul constantly is ahead of Devin Booker. And I know that they both play on the same team and stuff like that, but it just comes to a point where it's just like, when are we going to give Devin Booker his damn respect and his credit? Like, I understand that Chris Paul came along, Suns went to the finals, it became a playoff team and stuff like that. But like to compare like these last 2 years rosters with some of the old rosters that Devin Booker had, it's just like, all right now, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I mean, it's it's one of those situations where if the team wasn't that good before Chris Paul got there, and then once he got there, they were good all of a sudden. I mean, no, I agree with you though. I think Devin Booker kind of doesn't get his credit, but I mean, it's also just when you look at it on paper. But the thing is though, they were good like in that bubble before they got Chris.
yeah,
So that might be the
they won all their
rebuttal.
games. They won all their games and stuff like that, and then have a chance to like compete in the playoffs because even though they won all their games, and it's kind of like that's what I'm saying. It was just like they was hitting like the corner, and then like Chris Paul came. It's just like, of course, if you put Chris Paul on any team, they're gonna get better. But it's just kind of like to say that Chris Paul at this point of his career is better than Devin Booker, or I would say even more valuable than Devin Booker. It's just kind of like I have a hard time believing that, especially when I just seen Devin Booker go for back-to-back 40-point performance in the NBA Finals where it matters the most. And it was Devin Booker that was kind of like really kept the Suns in the finals. You know what I'm saying? It would be different if like Chris Paul, the last time we saw at the highest level, was the best player during those moments, but that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? Then people try to underestimate like Devin Booker was playing the point guard position. He was averaging like 24, 25, 5 and 5 for years. So it's just like people love to say like, oh, like Chris Paul's impact passing and stuff like that, which is very important and it's very key to the success of the Phoenix Suns. But to make it seem that like Devin Booker is not a good playmaker or Devin Booker's like scoring his amount of scoring that he does and his assisting and playmaking ability, it's just like that's still advantage Devin Booker. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think though it's who's better and who's more valuable to the team is to me is always a different question. It's not always like a huge gap, a huge difference, but I can see why people feel like it's Chris Paul because there's a huge crowd out there that felt like all Devin Booker needed was a great point guard, and the minute he got it, the world was able to see Devin Booker shine on the brightest stage. That doesn't mean that he wasn't like that before, right? But as to your point, adding Chris Paul definitely helps. But my thing is, when it comes to both of them, there was once a time where people weren't even arguing which one is more valuable. People were arguing if it would work, right? People were arguing like, man, can this duo like really get it done? And now we're talking about what a 41-9 team as of this recording. We're in February and they haven't even had double-digit losses yet. So that in itself just goes to show you like whether you think it's Devin Booker, whether you think it's Chris Paul, the fact that they're getting it done. And let me tell you something. I don't know too many Suns fans. Like off the top of my mind, like, I don't know too many people that have been diehard Suns fans for like a decade. And so the point of me saying that is if your favorite team isn't as good as the Phoenix Suns, which if I had to guess, they're not, maybe you might want to start thinking, well, damn, maybe I wish my team had that problem. I wish my team had that problem of like, damn, okay, which MVP candidate would I rather, have this season? But that's just a fact of the matter.
Yeah, that's definitely true. All I say is that when I watch the games, like defensive schemes matter. Like it's Booker getting schemed 90% of the time. And most of the times, that means that the team is scheming the best player. And it's just kind of like the more impactful player. Because when you're getting schemed the most, that means that like teams are more afraid of you beating them than your co-star. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like that also plays a factor into me when we talk about like most valuable and also the best player on your team. But like you said, it's a great problem to have here at the Phoenix Suns. You got two guys where like a legitimate argument can be made that they're pushing top 5 MVP candidates, both of them. You know what I'm saying? Or top 3, whatever you want to, however you feel. But it's just kind of like that's an excellent problem to have. And I just had to kind of like bring this conversation because I was talking to some of my homies and we were just talking about like they said that they feel that Chris Paul is more valuable, even though they feel like Devin Booker's a better player. And I'm just kind of like sometimes the two are different, but to me, I really feel like it's not different in this case.
All right, let me ask you, why did they say that? What was their case?
They were talking about like Chris Paul's playmaking ability and Chris Paul's impact of making like DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges better. That was like the main argument they were kind of saying compared to Devin Booker. And I was like, well, saying like Devin Booker doesn't make like his teammates better, it's just kind of like, well, what were you really watching the Suns games back in the day? Because that's what I'm saying. It's just like,
I get what they're saying. If they're trying to make like, all right, Chris Paul is the guy that makes like everyone else better. Like he's the point guy, he's the right? He's an orchestrator. He makes sure everyone eats. I get that, but by saying that doesn't mean that we should forget what Devin Booker is doing, right? By saying that, like, it's okay to give both of them their flowers, but at the same time realizing what's real and what Devin Booker is doing. He may not be good at facilitating, but like,
but that's what I'm saying. He's not. But that's what I said. Like. You take their best attributes. Like, all right, so you look at playmaking and scoring. Like, it's still going to favor Devin Booker because Devin Booker is going to have more points and he's still going to get you 5 assists per game. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris Paul's not doing that. So it's just like it's still going to favor Devin Booker at the end of the day. And then people will talk about, okay, we was talking about defense. Like, Chris Paul is a phenomenal defender, but like I tell people all the time, like Devin Booker is a better defender because he's in a better environment. He's in a better situation and he's like going to play more defense because it's just like, when you're on a losing team, like what the hell you playing defense for? You gotta be responsible for everything. Like defense is 90% effort. Like if you watch Devin Booker defensively this year, like he gets after it on that side of the floor. So it's like he's not like this slouch defender. So I always go back to like the whole like scoring and passing, like Devin Booker is still responsible more for the offense, total points, than Chris Paul. So it's just kind of like, if Chris Paul is so valuable, like most times the more valuable player and the best player is the guy that's kind of like responsible for most of the offense. It's like Giannis. Like I would have a hard time with like I call Chris Middleton the closer, right? I said that all the time, like in the closing moments. In the closing moments, you probably want Chris Middleton taking and making the shots. But I've never will come out here and say like, yo, Chris Middleton is more valuable than Giannis when Giannis is getting 80 to 90% of the offense.
Yeah,
you know
but that's slightly different. When I mean, just because there's a clear gap.
Clear. Yeah, of course, a clear gap. Yeah,
but it's funny, and not to switch gears too much, but someone based off last episode, when you're talking about isolation scores, like when we had the draft, someone mentioned, a name that someone mentioned to me as well. We quote unquote forgot was Chris Middleton.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't forget, but because it's one of those situations where again, like people like to toss out names, but who are you taking off? People don't like admitting that part of lists. People don't acknowledge the, just the idea like someone has to go. But anyway, just wanted to mention that because I heard Chris Middleton's name. But yeah, I mean, I think with the Suns are obviously going to need both of them to win. But let me ask you this: whether you think they're top 5 players in the league or not, right? Usually it takes a top 5 guy in the league to win the championship, historically speaking, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Suns can win the championship this year? With everything considered, right? The way they're playing now, with injuries and a COVID protocols year, all of that. Them having maybe a chip on their shoulder, feeling like they got to prove something to the world. Do you think that this team can get it done?
Well, I would like to see the Phoenix Suns go up against like a lot of healthy teams in this upcoming playoffs. Because last year, I know they went to the finals, but like last year, they benefit from not playing a lot of healthy teams. Like people can talk about like they beat the Clippers and stuff like that. Clippers wasn't fully healthy. You know what I'm saying? They can talk about they beat the Lakers wasn't fully healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see them beat healthy teams. But like, yes, I can see them going to the finals because I think they're really good. I think they're really complete. I think like they have a lot of great, like those 3 things I talk about. Like, do you have a guy that's a star? Yes, you do. Do you have a all-star caliber player? Yes, you do. You do have shooting? Yes, you do. Do you have defense? Yes, you do. Like they're really complete as a team. And it's only so many teams that have like a star player, the shooting, and the defense. And to me, like I said, that's like the Suns, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Miami Heat, in my opinion.
Say the three. Say the three again. Not the teams, but the checklist.
The checklist to me, it is a star player, shooting, defense. I think that's the three main important points
Okay.
of a championship caliber team.
The last part, defense. Okay,
Oh,
I see.
And big three. I said star player, but it's like really like, do you have some form of like a star player slash a big three? Because not all the times you need a big three, but like if you look at Chris Paul, you look at Devin Booker, you have an Ayton, that's a big three. It may not be the best big three, but it's just like they still have a big three. You know what I'm saying? Like same with the Bucks. They still got a big three. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Giannis. Like it's not like the Nets big three, but like if you got a big three like that and you got shooting and you got defense, like they got all three compared to other teams that may just have like a big three like the Lakers or the Nets who don't have all three.
I mean, the Suns their big three could arguably be a top three big three in the league.
Yeah,
if you really think about it. I mean, like we could talk about that, like some of the best big threes in the league. I mean, obviously, them boys in Brooklyn, KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
Well, it depends on what big three we talk. Are we just talking about purely like talent and skill level? Then nobody's going to be over the Brooklyn Nets. Or are we talking about
that's
like
what I'm saying.
Like
well, either way, there's like whatever word you want to use. There's no one touching the Brooklyn Nets. I'm just saying, like in general, overall acknowledgement of big threes. You feel me? So obviously we got Brooklyn. We have Phoenix, right? Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. That's a solid, big three. They made it just, fresh off making the finals. We got Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. You got Miami Heat. Yeah. You got
Jimmy Butler, Bam, Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. You got the Lakers. Gotta say it. LeBron, AD, Russell Westbrook.
You got the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, D'Lo, also Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. Okay.
Healthy.
Go ahead.
Denver Nuggets, healthy. If they're not healthy, but
I won't say just because they're not healthy right now. So.
Okay, yeah.
But I hear you. I would definitely give them their flowers and stuff. I do like their big three though. There's another thing I'm just getting ready to say. The Warriors. The Warriors have big three. You got Steph, Clay, and all-star starter Andrew Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
You throw that in there.
So what? Clay, Draymond,
all right.
Steph.
So all right, man. Let's get at two teams here. Who are you choosing? Whoa. Well, damn, yeah. Oh, I said Wiggins instead of Draymond just because of injury and stuff. But
that's fine.
It's all love for Draymond and on this side. But yeah, so Warriors big three with Wiggins instead of Draymond just because of health right now. Warriors big three, or actually, hold on. Does Chicago have one? Would you say?
Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so Warriors big three versus Chicago's. Is that a good matchup? I thought Warriors big three or Chicago's. It's kind of tough.
Who am I picking?
Yeah.
Are you asking me to rank them? Are you ranking a big three?
If it's just those two, I mean.
No. Warriors big three or Chicago big three? I mean, you got to go with the Warriors big three just because historically they've won championships, and this is what they won a championship without Kevin Durant. So it's just like we know what we know what they can do when it matters the most. So I definitely would say you got to give the edge to the Warriors big three of Clay, Steph, and Draymond over Zach LaVine, DeMar, and Nikola Vucevic. But who knows? Like I said before the season started, I said the Chicago Bulls, if they're healthy and if everything clicks, they can be the Phoenix Suns of the Eastern Conference and shock a lot of people and go to the NBA Finals.
Well, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bulls. You go with the Warriors, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bulls.
That's nasty.
I think, though, because if you look at it, right, and we've talked about this before with the Celtics, having two wings that can put the ball in the basket, right? Mm-hmm. The Celtics have that. When the Clippers are healthy, they have that. But not a lot of teams have that privilege and can do it at a high level, right? We're not talking about just like, all right, one guy could give you 20, one guy can give you, 17 or whatever. Like, Zach and DeMar are like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And obviously, you got Vucevic being a low post threat. I won't say anything can happen in the playoffs just because we know how, things can go and stuff like that. But I mean,
I like
maybe,
this.
maybe, huh?
I like this because like we just basically doing finals big threes, like comparing
Yeah.
like the Warriors, and then versus the Warriors versus the Bulls in the finals. Which big three would you take if it came down to them? Oh man,
it's tough. It's
so are you
tough.
saying
Obviously,
are you saying you would take the Chicago Bulls over the Golden State Warriors because of their big three?
I like the way you worded that question. That's what's up. I get it. You want full sentences. I get it. Woo! Would I take I would take the Chicago Bulls big three right now. I would take their big three as of right now. Come playoffs, maybe that's a different story just because of the fact that you said it best. Those guys are proven in Golden State, at least, Steph and Clay are. Come finals and playoffs and stuff like that. But right now, if we're talking regular season, if I just want, three guys who I'm going to say, all right, let's hoop. Now, was DeMar on that isolation players list?
No, he didn't make ours.
Oh, man.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Zach LaVine, it's hard. DeMar didn't make it. It's hard.
That's tough.
It's hard. That list was tough. Yeah, I don't really agree because, like I said, historically, I hate to keep talking about historically. I know you're talking about like right now and stuff like that, but historically, we go back to the Kawhi Leonard and the Paul George situation. Like, two talented wings, as great as phenomenal as they are in the regular season, how special they can be. Like in the playoffs, the last time we really seen like two dominant wings really have success was the Miami Heat. And the last time we really saw it before that was that Chicago Bulls team with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. So it's rare when we see two like, and even that was kind of like different to Chicago Bulls because like Scottie Pippen was more like this dual forward and kind of like this playmaking forward, you know what I'm saying? But like two bucket getters, like Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, they were bucket getters. Like we ain't really seen that success and winning championships like in a minute. So like saying like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, there's that wing tandem winning a championship. I'm gonna have to see it to believe it, especially over a team that's done it.
Well, I mean, you brought up a good point of like Giannis winning his championship was in a similar fashion to LeBron, right? And just the idea of him having to, pretty much do a little bit of everything. So that wasn't common, or that doesn't happen all the time.
That's rare. That was rare.
That's what I'm saying.
He joined, Giannis joined the elite. Giannis may be the...
But that's what I'm saying, though. The fact that it's rare, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? So you say it's rare for two wings to win a championship, mentioning, Mike and Scottie and LeBron and Wade.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it's rare, but it's been done before.
Yeah.
But obviously, when we, kind of say those other two groups, that's kind of, not the comparison, of course, but just the idea of, you got two guys that can play on the outside, be your best players. It wasn't just always an in and out kind of thing or, a point at a small forward like, we saw with the Warriors with Steph and KD. But I don't know. All right, so, I mean, that's a good one. Warriors big three versus Chicago's big three. Who else we got? We got Miami's big three versus what team we want to go with in the West?
Oh, we're going in the West. We doing it like that.
I mean, if you have one in the East, I don't see the point of putting Brooklyn's big three against anyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
well, slow down now.
Okay, no. I don't see the point in putting Brooklyn's big three against anyone else.
I don't even know if their big three's not even going to be available all the games.
Okay, fine. If you want to take it that
route. That's a factor. I'm not making shit up.
Okay, all right. So you know what? You're right. So now let's make sure we have the question that we're answering out in the open. Let's make sure it is, a firm question. So what is it that we're answering? When it comes to big three, like who is the best big three in the NBA? Who would win in a matchup? Who would be the best come playoff time? Like we need one.
I guess we doing matchups.
Matchups like fully, like as of right now, fully healthy or
matchups. It's fine because we can't really do. We can do like cross matchups, but I can like we can talk about the Timberwolves big three versus somebody. I know the Timberwolves not going to the finals.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I know they're not. I know they're not going to the. You know what I'm saying?
Man, like you don't know. You don't know, man. Like who knows?
Okay.
I mean,
maybe
that's not my pick, but I mean, like, look, we saw.
How about this one?
The Warriors team, we saw that Warriors team. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not saying that I'm going to pick them, but
yeah, we sleeping on another a big three that nobody's talking about. They look like the bad boy Pistons, like the reincarnated version of bad boy. They just talking their shit. They don't care. They backing it up. The Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant, Jackson, and that other boy, damn, forget his name.
You
Muscle man,
NFL, Bane, and you
Bane, yeah,
and you in the same said we forgetting about it. You forgot the damn name.
Bane. Hey, come on now. We talk about so many teams and so many players. Bane, versus let's say the Miami Heat. Bam, Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry.
I'm gonna go. It's kind of crazy because my reason for going with the Miami Heat in this situation is the exact opposite of what I said about Chicago. Experience. All three guys of that we talk about on the Heat, they've gone to the finals. But no, let me not take the easy way out. That right? Just that's I feel like it's simple. I'm still gonna go with Miami. Damn, Ja's a dog though, bro.
Jackson is cold too, man. People sleeping on him. He's cold, talented.
I'm still going Miami though. Are you going? Are you going with Memphis?
No, I'm to be honest, I'm taking Miami over a lot of teams, honestly, just because of that two-way ability. But no, I'm just saying. I just had to throw. I just had to show some love to Memphis Grizzlies. But
I'm with it.
No, if that was a potential finals matchup, the Memphis versus the Miami Heat and the big three, which big three would you rather have? I would definitely rather have Kyle Lowry. Because he's been there before. He's done it. Jimmy Butler, he's done it before. And Bam, he's even been there and done it before. Like, I would rather have those players. Because I feel like Memphis is becoming like this dog, this talk shit, like building their own culture. Miami really that. You know what I'm saying? Like they really that. Like Memphis ain't really like gonna intimidate no Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like Miami is it's kind of like that Zach Randolph, that quote to DeMarcus Cousins, like, where I'm from, bullies get bullied. That's how I feel about the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies, if that matchup did occur.
But the thing is, though, with the Grizzlies, they also won't feel intimidated. You feel me? Like there won't be no fear in their heart. Like they going, hoop regardless. And I like that about that team. So I'm gonna still go with Miami in this specific matchup, but I can see why, obviously you wanted to bring them up and kind of give them their flowers because they're doing some things on there. Right, like they're, in terms of like preseason prediction versus where they're at now, and I'm glad you mentioned them as a big three, right? Because obviously Ja's an MVP candidate, All-Star starter, but it has been a group effort. It has been guys chipping in, contributing to the overall success of that team down there, man. So
they was winning when Ja was out. I think they went like 11.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that, bro. Yeah, don't even get me started on that. The only reason why I say that is because just because they were winning without Ja playing, right? And you had people saying, like, is this team better without Ja? Should he continue to sit out? What are we doing? Yeah. Like, and it's stuff like that it's a reminder, like, yo, they really love you when things are going well for you, but will look left when you're not playing.
Yeah.
Like, and again, like, you obviously root for the Grizzlies or for anyone to succeed, really, but, like, don't let, your team winning confuse you about what's really needed if you really want to take that next step. Right? So happy for you already win games, but rest assured, if Ja Morant ain't playing, they're not making this type of noise. Right? And that's just a fact. Like we can sit here and be confident in the team and all that, but at the same time, if your MVP candidate, if your best player is not playing, your chances of winning decrease. Like you're gonna need Ja. Like
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
this man is disgusted.
No,
this man has this disgusted look on his face.
I'm disgusted because it always comes from fans that like get spoiled so easily. You know what I'm saying? Like Boston fans. Well, let me not say Boston fans because never mind. I'll leave that alone. But I'm trying to think of a team that's used to winning and then has like one bad year. You know what I'm saying? Like or like no, my bad. Other way around. A team that had the Knicks. There we go. The New York Knicks. Teams that may not have had success over the past decade, but all of a sudden they have one good year, and then a couple months in, or they go on a little losing streak, and all of a sudden we want to be like, oh, they got. First of all, if you look at what the hell your franchise has been doing the past few years, you might want to be thankful. You might want to be thankful that it's only a 2 or 3 game losing streak. Like a couple years ago, that's what you probably would have been asking for.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it's important for like fans and just overall to just like remember like, yo, obviously you should always want what's best for your team and your favorite player and all that, but at the same time, don't get spoiled to the point where you're not appreciating what the hell you're seeing on the basketball court. Win or lose. Win or lose. Because how quickly people forget.
Yeah,
Philly too.
Yeah, no,
Philly too.
It's crazy because you brought up Philly because I want to talk about Philly's like big three, and I think a good comparison with them would be like because I don't expect the Philadelphia Sixers to go to the finals. I don't expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to go to the finals. But let's just talk about their big three. You know what I'm saying? Which big three would you prefer to have? D'Lo, Cat, Anthony Edwards, or Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid?
Joel Embiid is tough. I know the conversation has been big three this entire time, but like usually I go with like, all right, who's the best player out of all these six gentlemen? And more importantly, what is the gap like between the best player and everyone else? So the gap between Joel Embiid and everyone else in this example is substantial. The gap between Joel Embiid.
That's disrespectful to the
to
Cat.
To who?
To Cat.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's
disrespectful to Cat.
Yeah, no. Love Cat.
That's
No. It's not
substantial.
It's not. It's substantial.
Substantial. You made it say like I was talking about like the Giannis and Chris Middleton versus the Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
What's a bigger gap?
That's substantial. That is substantial. Not Joel Embiid and Cat, man. Come on, bro.
Right.
Like,
so you want to know why I say it's substantial? Because there's tiers. There's tiers, right? When it comes to big men, Joel Embiid and Jokic. That is it. Nobody else I want to hear. I mean, okay, fine. Argue Anthony Davis. Okay, whatever. But those three, whatever.
Crazy.
Well, as of right now, I'm just saying, with health and all that. But I'm saying, Cat isn't in that category. And that's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? We talking about Joel Embiid. But to me, there's levels.
So that's just you would pick the Philadelphia Sixers big three over D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Karl Anthony Towns.
No, I am going to answer your question. I'm not dodging. But like, I just want to see Minnesota's big three thrive because they individually, they all have like the talent to be the best player on a playoff team. Right? I don't think that's the case for all the big threes that we've named. You know what I'm saying? True. Like D'Lo has took a team to a playoffs. Like it's to the point now where it's like you just want to see them combine as a group, right? As a group thrive. Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Embiid's tough, bro. I don't know, man. Embiid's tough. I'm gonna go Timberwolves though. I'm gonna go Timberwolves.
She talked all that shit. After all that, I think he was gonna go with the Philadelphia Sixers.
There's balance though. There's
after that talk.
There's so all right. So Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Tobias.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get ready to ask you a question. It might bother some people, but go ahead. I'll wait for you to go though. I'll wait for you to go.
Big three. I'm probably gonna take. I probably would take. Still, I probably would take the Sixers because, like you said, like it's crazy because you did all that just to take the Timberwolves, but I was like, all right, I understand it, but like, my thing was like the whole like substantial like gap. I'm like, it's a gap, but it ain't like substantial to me. But like, Joel Embiid is cold, like probably a top 5 player in the game right now. Like, I mean, it's hard. It's like what I'm saying now. It's just hard. It's like two-way ability, like skill. Like he was on my top 6 isolation list as a big man. So I mean, it's just hard. Like his impact. If he's healthy, he's right. His overall impact is just like I think more than probably damn near all 3 of them put together. So you may be right. It may be substantial.
But that's not substantial.
It may be substantial.
Not substantial.
It may be. You may be right. It may be like So
come on now.
Tyrese Maxey can boogie. Like I feel like he's coming to his own as a player. Like I was telling people, like, yo, combo guard. Yo, I remember I was talking about him in Kentucky. I was like, yo, a lot of teams are sleeping on Tyrese Maxey. I was hoping the Miami Heat were going to pick him up, but then the Sixers got, and I was like, yo, he's a perfect fit for any championship caliber team. He's ready to go because his skill set is just like creating off the dribble, scoring, being a bucket instantly off the bench. But now he's had his opportunity since Ben Simmons and the Sixers going through their situation to start and really showcase his talent and ability, which is going to do so much wonders for his conference because now it's just like he's a starter now and he's views himself as a starter. So I definitely would go with give the edge to the Philadelphia Sixers over the Minnesota Timberwolves for us a big 3: Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris over. And I even talk about Tobias, but Tobias is a a very solid NBA player. Like, I know that contract is crazy, but it's just kind of like Andrew Wiggins' contract is crazy. He's an all-star starter this year. So it's the same thing with Tobias. Like, he may not be an all-star starter or like make an all-star team, but like that's the type of caliber player he is.
I agree. I'm glad you kind of came around to your senses about.
You picked Minnesota,
right? No, you let me finish. I was getting ready to say I'm glad you kind of came to your senses to realizing that it might be a gap between Joel and B. You just said, you said that his value alone might be more valuable than all three. I didn't go that far.
I had to really think about it. I had to really think about it. But yeah, he's serious. Joel Embiid's serious. You say you had something else, you was gonna follow it up with something.
Yeah. So, obviously Tyrese Maxey, you talking about, him being a starter, contributing to that team. Yeah. Joel Embiid possibly having more value than all three of the guys that we just named in Minnesota combined. Yeah. And then Tobias Harris being a solid player for them. But let me ask you something. If the Philadelphia 76ers,
I think I know where you're coming with this, yeah,
end up making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, will that change your perspective on Ben Simmons?
No, it doesn't change my perspective on Ben Simmons because I think Ben Simmons is extremely talented, extremely gifted, has loads of potential. But I just think it's like this. The pairing of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, can it work? Yes, it can work. We saw him as the number 1 seed. I mean, in the playoffs, they kind of like really underachieve, of course. But like it can work. But it was never like the perfect like fit. You know what I'm saying? Because like Ben Simmons needs spacing and Joel Embiid kind of needs spacing. And then like together they can clog it up at times. So I just feel like, no, it's not gonna really change my perspective on like Ben Simmons because the issue to me has always been like they can work, but it's not the most natural fit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's not gonna change anything at all to me.
Okay, so I think at this point we kind of know that it worked. Right, like you get a number 1 seed in the conference. The two of them have changed that entire franchise and city around. Whether Philly fans want to admit it or not, Ben Simmons is a part of them turning around their franchise for the better. Like it wasn't too long ago where trust the process was a real thing, and so now to see them winning stuff, Ben definitely had a part of that. One thing I want to add though, you said. We know that it can work, right? Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. But my thing is, the question should be can it work in the playoffs, right? There's no denying the talent. There's no denying that they can win basketball games in the regular season. But now they're not rookies anymore.
It's like,
right?
They're not trying to compete for a championship. I get what you're saying.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the goal here? Now, again, talking about last year, had they lost to a team like Milwaukee, had they lost to a team this year like the Brooklyn Nets, that's one thing. But now the question is, and it's probably been like this for obviously 5-6 months, whatever, but like, does it work in the playoffs? And obviously now, I think that ship has sailed for obvious reasons. But just like, and the only reason why I asked that question really about your perspective on Ben Simmons, because naturally, it's similar to the Chris Paul and Devin Booker situation, right? If you weren't winning games, or let me say this, if your team, the Phoenix Suns, weren't winning games, and then a Hall of Fame point guard gets added to your team, naturally, the blame in a good way will go to Chris Paul because you added someone else and now you
mean the credit
better. The credit. Oh yeah,
the
credit will go to Chris Paul. Yeah. On the flip side, Philly, right? If your team didn't have that much success in the playoffs, and then you subtract the guy or one, the second option on that team, and now they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals or maybe even the finals.
Yeah.
Will there be energy? I'll say towards just the idea of like,
it'd probably be energy, definitely be energy, but it's not going to happen. I can't. I'll give it like a 1% chance.
You know what though? In all seriousness, I'm not like, it's weird because I'm rooting for Ben, obviously, but at the same time, I'm not going to seriously say I hope the Sixers lose. But like, if the Sixers do, bro, for whatever chance, for whatever reason, if they are able to pull it off and beat Miami or Brooklyn or Milwaukee or whoever in the playoffs without a trade being done before this deadline.
Yeah, it may get nasty.
Man, it may get nasty.
It's probably gonna get nasty.
It may get nasty
because Philly fans are crazy like Knicks fans. Like you're probably right. And even like it goes back to like we had that whole conversation about mental health and all this talk about like certain players and the way they get like scrutinized compared to other players. It's gonna get nasty for Ben because you already know how they feel about him. So and you probably are right, but I don't expect it to happen because I give it like a 1% chance of happening because I don't feel that like they're team wise. Like I like Tyrese Maxey, but he's still a young player and stuff like that. I like Joel Embiid, but the East has just got too many teams that are just better than the Philadelphia Sixers. Unless Joel Embiid is going to go out there and put up Wilt numbers in the playoffs.
And hey, but Wilt, you know what? Maybe no. Go ahead, finish that sentence because I want to hear it.
No, I'm just saying because even Wilt like putting up all his crazy numbers in the regular season and winning MVPs, like got to the playoffs and just like couldn't reproduce that magic at times. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you are the best player and it's obvious, like, but it's like other teams that you're going against have a better teams, you know, around them. It's like it can be very, very hard. I feel like that's gonna happen with Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia Sixers.
Nobody ever again in the history of basketball is probably gonna put up Wilt numbers. It would take but then I mean, no, I'm gonna leave it at that because I was gonna say people thought the same thing about Russ averaging a triple-double, but no, Wilt's numbers. Wilt's numbers.
Maybe not Wilt. Maybe not.
No,
Wilt
I know what you mean, but just the mentality. Yeah, of like, but people thought I have to dominate.
Yeah, like, but people thought we was never gonna see another Wilt in our lives before. You know, we
what? We still haven't.
not maybe not numbers wise, but like
yeah.
But like who it's like
who what? Finish your sentence because you're not about to say nothing crazy.
The back-to-back MVP is like he's not Wilt, but it's just like like he has some Wilt in him. Like Giannis and Wilt, like it's serious, bro. Like he has some. It's serious. Like the physique, the physicality, like the just like unstoppableness. Like it's crazy. Like and it's crazy because Wilt was. If you look at some of the highlights and stuff like that, I've never seen Wilt play. Of course, but it's just like some of the highlights. Wilt was very skilled too at times. Like his jump shot and stuff like that. Like a legitimate argument can be made that Wilt's only disciple is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I'm not gonna say that Giannis is a disciple of Wilt Chamberlain.
Man,
I'm not gonna.
I don't see how you can.
I'm not gonna.
Can't. I don't see how you can.
I'm not gonna.
I don't see how you can if you just look at their whole physical dominance and just like
it's
Giannis is Giannis is 26 and his award case is crazy. It gets scary. Like his trajectory. His trajectory is like top 10 already all time. So it's just like me saying that's not really crazy, bro. And he has a championship already. So it's just like, and he's playing it with better competition, way better competition, and guys that are like at his position that are just as athletic, it's just as skilled, more skilled even. So it's just like, bro, like I'm not saying nothing like crazy. Like,
well, and see, that's just it.
Because you could drop Giannis off. You could drop Giannis off in that era. It's gonna be the same thing. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like you gotta come on, bro. Let's keep it 100.
But their playing styles were not that similar, though. That's my thing. And obviously,
but pure dominance it can be considered a play style because Wilt was so unstoppable, just like Giannis is so unstoppable. Like, of course, Wilt was like, but Giannis was. Of course, Wilt wasn't going like north to south, but it's clips of Wilt going north to south. Like it's like, yo, I'm telling you, bro. Like,
bro,
if it's one player that can be considered a disciple of Wilt Chamberlain, it's Giannis, bro. I don't think that's really a far-fetched statement.
I would say before Wilt, I'd give it to like Shaq for like. I mean, I'm just trying to think of somebody else, but other than that,
Giannis plays more like Wilt than Shaq plays like Wilt.
Giannis plays more like Wilt than Shaq plays like Wilt.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Easy.
I don't know. I don't know about
easy.
That. Easy. I know Wilt was out here wilding with triple doubles again. Some numbers in these games, but
easy.
I
think it's not even close.
So that's the thing too. Resume versus disciple are different things here. Like, obviously, but Giannis's 2 MVPs are crazy. His championship's great, and also too, like I said, there's still time for him to put himself in that top 10 category, right? Like, it gets scary if the Milwaukee Bucks win this year with everyone healthy. We know that. Then don't let him win MVP this year, because then it gets really, really scary. But just the idea that, like, I don't know, man. Wilt, number-wise, was out there.
Numbers-wise, like, in an era that was like he was the biggest and the strongest and the most dominant. Like,
okay, there we go. There we go.
But it's just like, I'm just saying, you watch some of the highlights that Wilt back in the day, and then watch some of Giannis highlights, and it's just kind of like, of course it's going to be different, but like physical dominance and just like overall strength and aggression. And I don't know, bro. Like if it's one player, I feel like that can be a Wilt Chamberlain disciple. I think it has to be Giannis Antetokounmpo. It may only be Giannis. That's just my personal opinion. But speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, let's talk about let's compare this big three. They were in the finals together. We might as well. The Bucks big three: Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Giannis versus the Phoenix Suns: Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. This season, like if it was a rematch, who you giving the edge to?
Now, I'm glad you said this season because I would have no choice but to choose Milwaukee. It literally just beat them.
No, this season.
Right now, I know. I got
everybody healthy too, because people. That's another thing where I was talking about, like the whole like situation with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. When I kept bringing up the finals, people was just like, Chris Paul was hurt, his shoulder was hurt. I'm just like, Giannis played on a hyperextended knee. Like James Harden was playing out on one leg. Like, what do we? Okay, Chris Paul's shoulder wasn't 100% healthy, but like still, like most players aren't 100% healthy in the playoffs. If you want to be honest.
People only like to use an injury debate when it benefits them.
Exactly.
Like they forget, like, oh yeah, he was injured. Well, yeah, so was the other team. Like it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying?
So was the other team's best player.
Right. Yeah. So it was.
So was the other team's best. Not only other
at
teams.
least Chris Paul had Devin Booker. Like Giannis was the best player on the Bucks. 50. No, I'm not even gonna read that. But yeah, 50 in the close. Like, yeah, come on. Like, what do we?
But this year, who would you get the edge to?
I'm thinking. I mean, it's hard for me to answer that question without even like thinking about what happened last year. I'm gonna go Phoenix. I'm gonna go Phoenix, especially as of this recording, as of right now.
Yeah.
Especially like if there was ever a time over the course of the season I would go with Phoenix, it's literally now. There's no way we've been playing this long of basketball in this season and they still only have 9 wins. That's crazy. Like, I can't really argue or go against that. That's like I think if I went with the Bucks, the only 2 reasons why I would go with Milwaukee, and they're pretty much acceptable reasons in my opinion, is one, they have Giannis and the Suns don't. Very simple. And 2, they just beat them in the finals. And so one of those reasons is based off last year, so you can take that out. But it's almost like watching LeBron in the finals. One team has LeBron James, the other one doesn't. Yeah. That's why LeBron James, his team, will always have a chance at winning.
Yeah.
But
I know you're not doing that though.
Doing what?
Saying like Giannis' impact is like LeBron's when you talk about like, you know.
No, I'm not saying like peak LeBron versus peak Giannis. I'm
saying like one team has Giannis, other team doesn't. So Giannis is gonna always have a chance to beat this team. You know what I'm saying? It seems like what you're saying. Like,
I mean, yeah, I would for the Suns, yeah.
Okay, especially, for the Suns.
Especially for the Suns, okay. And if we talk about matchup-wise.
Matchup-wise, yeah.
If we talk about matchup-wise.
Yeah, DeAndre.
Yeah. You seen the finals. You seen the finals. And that, so matchup-wise, yeah.
And it's crazy because, like, I want to pick the Suns, but it's just like, it's just like, I just can't. Because I just can't.
You said it like there's another team in the West, bro. You said it like it was.
It's just like, no, because it's just like,
First of all, don't do that. Don't treat the Suns like some.
No, I'm not
JV team. Don't like
at the 50-point closeout. They let an anomaly happen. Like I had never seen that. I had never thought that was ever even possible for something like that to happen with Giannis. And the Phoenix Suns let that happen. And I got to live with that for the rest of my life, knowing that Giannis dropped 50 points in a closeout game.
Bro, you just said don't bring up last season. You the one that said
I know. But it's so damn hard it's like, damn, there's a 50-point closeout. But I mean, based on this season alone, the reason why I would say that they would win if they came up in the finals and get something is because of Giannis. Like you said, like it's just like he's that, and that's what I'm saying. I was kind of leading up to that. He's just that dominant. He's that unstoppable. They have nobody on their team that can guard him, and they don't. And the Phoenix Suns are a great defensive team, and still they have nobody on that team that can guard them. So it's just like that is the only reason why that I feel like, like, because they're like Aiden and like Chris Paul, you probably would get an edge to having them over like a Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, maybe. But it's just kind of like, it's just hard, bro. It's really hard because Giannis is so unstoppable. And then it's just like, I think they're going to have psychologically the mental aspect over the Phoenix Suns because they're going to know that, we beat y'all asses. Not only did we beat y'all asses, like, y'all was up 0-2 and we came back 4-0 and beat y'all asses. So it's just like, just knowing it's like, damn, so I got to get an edge to the Milwaukee Bucks if that came up for us, like the whole NBA Finals and Big Three. Which Big Three would you rather have? Because also Chris Middleton is a problem as well. Like, to be honest, I'll keep it a stack. I like Chris Paul. I love Chris Paul. I think he's a top 5 point guard of all time. Like, he wins a championship, it's going to get nasty, the things I'm going to say. But at the same time, like, it's going to get nasty, the things I'm going to say. But at the same time, I got to see Chris Paul show up and shine in the NBA Finals. Like, I know Devin Booker's going to be there. Aiden wasn't really there. Chris Paul, hurt or not, wasn't really there. I look at that other team. Giannis was there. But you know who else was there with him? Drew Holiday was there. Chris Middleton was there. So it's just like, that's important. I feel like their Big Three, all of them will show up this season if they came to the finals, more likely than the Suns' Big Three. So got to go with the Milwaukee Bucks.
So a summary of everything you just said. One team has Giannis, the other does not.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. And sometimes it's literally that simple. It's pretty crazy. Much. I mean, and there's not too many guys, and honestly, the history of the league that have been able to have hold that weight. I'm on this side. You don't have anyone that can guard me or at my level. Very simple. Now again, I think the Suns can win the whole thing. You're not about to say and tell me that a team that's I believe 41-9 can't win the whole thing. But they're gonna have to make some adjustments. I mean, Giannis ain't going nowhere. And watch this. Can you imagine going to the finals and then hearing the Milwaukee Bucks aren't making it and be like, yes, let's go. We don't got to play Giannis. But instead, you got to play Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. Yeah. So either way, matchup-wise, you in for hell. So I think internally, and I think they'll be ready. We've seen teams, also take L's and come back stronger.
And the Phoenix Suns have a better chance of reaching the finals than the Milwaukee Bucks because I feel like the West is just wide open. It's easy. It's basically, to me, I like what Memphis is doing, but I'm not a believer. I got to see them in the playoffs. I really don't. This is how much I'm not a believer. If the Lakers are the 6th seed and the Memphis Grizzlies are the 3rd seed, it's no doubt in my mind who's winning that. Don't say that. Don't say that. To me. I'm saying it's no doubt in my mind. It's no doubt in my mind who's winning that matchup.
You know what, my good brother? I thought the same exact thing last year when we played the Phoenix Suns. I was confident as hell. I said
that's different.
I said Lakers in 5. I didn't even think twice. I almost laughed.
That's different though. And you know why that's different?
No, I would love for you to explain to me why it's different.
You know what happened. You know what happened. The Lakers had all the momentum in the world in that series, and then Anthony Davis got hurt. So I know we know injuries happen, but I can't. I'm talking about fully healthy.
Fully healthy, bro. I get you.
I'm talking about fully healthy. It's not even close.
But you know why I can't even get jiggy with that statement? The Lakers, and I hate saying this shit.
They're not even in the playoff picture.
Right. They haven't done anything to make me feel that way. Right now, the only reason why someone might feel that way about the Lakers is name recognition. That is it. What's been done?
Anthony Davis right now should be giving Lakers very hope because he's been special. He's been averaging basically 30 since he's came back. He's looking right. He's looking healthy. And like I say, you talk about Jokic, you talk about Joel Embiid, it's a tier. I was like, hold up now. Don't get it twisted. A healthy Anthony Davis is in that tier. And to me, he may be above that tier, meaning above those two players if you really want to talk about it. Healthy. So I'm not going I think this is important. I think this is what Anthony Davis needs. LeBron James being out, hopefully they can go on a win streak and stuff like that. But I think this can help the Lakers. This also can help Anthony Davis for his confidence as well. But since we talking about the Lakers, and we haven't talked about this last big three. Let's just talk about it. Like the big three in the finals that we all want, that we seems like we may not even get because the Lakers been struggling, but another team that's been struggling, the Brooklyn Nets, they lost 6 in a row. Part-time Kyrie playing on the road, like
part-time Kyrie. That's
playing
so
on the road.
crazy to hear.
No, that's for real. That's the part-time Kyrie playing on the road, and it's just like Kyrie's been available, and James Harden's been available, and they're still losing. It seems like it's a lot of like talk in the media between like little shots of here and there, what's going on with those. With the the Nets and stuff like that, but like all I can say is just like no excuses. Like it'd be different if like this 6-game losing streak was happening and all your games was at home and it was just James Harden alone. Like damn, help me. But like James, you got help with Kyrie. It's been road games y'all been losing. You know what I'm saying? So that's
not playing with Kevin Durant definitely is a. Definitely doesn't
Stop
help. But
it.
I'm with you. No.
Stop it.
Yo, let me finish. I was going to say it doesn't help, but I'm with you. There is no excuses. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially 6? 6?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, like, come on now. It ain't 2.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know Kevin Durant is valuable and it was an MVP front runner this
but
year.
But damn it, you got Kyrie and James.
You got Kyrie and James Harden. Like even like shit. Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. Like what is this like? We hear reports like from Lakers, unanimous, like they need LeBron James to come back. I'm like, you got Russ, you got Anthony Davis.
I don't want to hear any
like,
of
I don't
that.
want to hear that shit. Like get that shit right and come on. So like, what big three would you take in the finals if this happened? Like the Los Angeles Lakers with Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, or Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant?
You really about to make me answer that question. That's. Oh, do I want to give you an accurate answer or answer with my heart? Which one will I go with?
The two could be the same.
Not in this situation. I'm gonna go Brooklyn Nets. Sorry, Laker fans. Y'all know I love purple and gold, but just realistically, because again, this doesn't mean that I don't think the Lakers can win it. Right? This is not me giving up on the season. This is not me sitting here saying that the Lakers can't do it. Whatever, but. What I have seen. You feel me? And I already know there's going to be people, if the Lakers sweep the first round and, make it, past the semifinal to the West Coast. See, I told you Lakers going to clean up. I'm not denying whether or not they're going to clean up their act. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying what the hell I've seen right now. Yeah. I'd be a fool. But, it's funny because the team that we talking about on the 6-game losing streak. But at least, part of that is because of, the lack of Kevin Durant. But I'm gonna go Brooklyn. I mean, anytime you got that type of offensive firepower.
Yeah, and I was, and you know how I feel about the Brooklyn Nets. I feel like a healthy Brooklyn Nets team is the best team in the NBA. But the only problem with that is that one team is going to have all their pieces. If we're talking about fully healthy, if both teams are healthy, one team fully healthy is going to have all their pieces in all their games. And I believe that matters. So I would have to give the edge to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, well, if you want to play that route, sure. I hear you. I thought you just meant like if everything was normal, if this was a 7-game series.
Okay, but even if everything is normal, as much as I love the Brooklyn Nets, I think the problem with the Brooklyn Nets is just kind of like it's been a problem that they had last year. It's just kind of like you have an offensive firepower and stuff like that, but it's just kind of like we know in the playoffs, like the game slows down, that can get neutralized in a way, especially if you don't play defense. So I look at like Anthony Davis, I look at LeBron James as two players that are still elite. Of course, Anthony Davis, but LeBron James is still elite on the defensive side of the basketball floor. I think that matters, especially in the playoffs. So it's just kind of like in a 7-game series, talent-wise, skill-wise, yes, I want to give the edge to the Brooklyn Nets, but like playing defense, slowing the tempo down, and just like being able to operate like, those key moments defensively and get key stops, I feel like the Lakers would probably have a better chance with their big three doing that than the Brooklyn Nets big three, because Brooklyn Nets big three is superior offensively, but defensively it's not even close. Like even Russell Westbrook, he hasn't been that great defensively like this year, but like he can be a good defensive guard. He has been his whole entire career. Like he can lock up when you need to and play defense when you need to, more so than what I can say about a James Harden and Kyrie Irving. And we know what Anthony Davis is about. We know damn sure know what LeBron James is about. Like I feel like, and also this, I feel like Kevin Durant shouldn't be your best offensive player on your team and your best defender on your team. That's nasty. You know, like a legitimate argument can be made that Kevin Durant's their best perimeter defender. You know what I'm saying? That's really not a formula like to win a championship, in my opinion.
Imagine using KD as just a 3-and-D player. Just like, all right,
Yeah, the
but
Warriors kind of did. The Warriors kind of did in a way.
All right. I don't know about that. But
no, I mean, like, he was the best player. Like, he was catching and shooting and stuff. Like, a lot of his shots, some of his shots was like catching and shooting and stuff like that. But he also was rim protecting and stuff like that. I'm not saying that as a slight to KD.
I got you. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
So I mean, honestly, with that being said, I got a cap or no cap for you. It's pretty obvious. So as of this recording, right, it's February 3rd, 2022. One, happy Black History Month, everybody. And two, will we see?
So we came with all black on,
You know what we are.
All black, all black everything. Sure.
But number two, will we see a Brooklyn Nets and Los Angeles Lakers finals? We talked about it a lot in the preseason, but cap or no cap now. It is the beginning of February. We're like a week away from the trade deadline. Will we see, cap or no cap, we will see a Brooklyn Nets versus Los Angeles Lakers NBA Finals matchup?
This year? Or just like in general?
Yes, this year.
If everybody's healthy.
Yes. Okay.
I'm going to say, it's crazy. I'm going to say no cap. I just really feel like if both teams can get healthy and get right, like Russell Westbrook came out and said, everybody's 0-0 in the playoffs. I really feel that way about these two teams when we talk about, like, if they're healthy, everybody's healthy. I think star power, I think talent prevails, man. Especially if you just get on a run where you get the last, like, month of the season, everybody's healthy going into the playoffs, and it's just kind of regardless of the seeding. I can't legitimately say, like, from a talent perspective, because I think talent prevails in the playoffs when it matters the most. Like the Lakers' big three, even the Lakers' big two. Like, I'm taking Anthony Davis and LeBron over probably over some of the West big three. Healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you throw Russ in there, regardless of if he's going to work or he's not going to work. Like, I just look at that as a bonus, So, yeah,
I don't know if I could say regardless to that, because now, like, but it sounds like you're saying would be based off a conversation that we had before they played any games, right? Before, like, we were just thinking about how it would play out. But now, even though I hear you, right? Talent wins games. Talent wins championships. At the same time, chemistry is also a factor.
That's why I said a month in. You got to get a month in. Yeah. All that stuff.
While we've seen teams overachieve, we've also seen teams underachieve. And
that's true.
Even with LeBron, like, not to say that he himself or his teams have underachieved, but just the idea, like, at the end of the day, he's still human. So, like, this isn't a situation where, we're saying, like, all right, the minute mid-April comes, they're going to go 16-2 or whatever in the playoffs. They're going to have to show me that, like, all right.
That's what I said. I said, like, everybody's healthy a month straight, like, going into the playoffs. That's what I said. Both those teams. I feel like if that happens, I really feel that, like, there's nobody in the West that, to be honest, there's no disrespect to anybody in the West, but there's nobody in the Western Conference that the Lakers really should be afraid of. They should look like, damn, like, they're so much better than us. Not the Golden State Warriors, not the Phoenix Suns. And they may be way better right now, but, like, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook shouldn't fear Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook shouldn't fear Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green. I know they're champions, but, like, I know they're champions.
Fear is a loose word, but, like,
no, I'm just saying, but, like, they respect them, but they should be, like, feel like, yo, we gonna beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, and vice versa to those others. But I just feel like, yo, like, talent and skill, I just feel like it shouldn't be, like, I don't know. I just feel like if it's a month in and get healthy, I really feel like that way, bro. I don't know. It's just something that I don't know.
I hear you. I mean,
The West is wide open, bro. It's wide open to me. It's the Wild Wild West. It's wide open.
It's wide open, but I think that might be the problem. Is the fact that they haven't made it very clear. Like, all right, we are the best team in this conference. You all better be afraid of us. It's more open, right? It's more like, all right, well, we got the Lakers in the first round.
But they also haven't been like. Also, I know we don't really like talk about injury, but they haven't really been fully healthy. But the Big Three has played 3 games this season, similar to like last year with the Brooklyn Nets. Like they played 6 games. Even this year, like the Big Three hasn't played. They play like 2-3 games healthy. So that's what I'm saying. Like we don't even know. Like we really don't even know. That's what I'm saying. If they get all healthy and develop a chemistry for a month going into April and May, it's just like, yo, not even April, like for it's like March to April. Like that's what I'm saying. This month in February is very critical for everybody to get healthy on both sides and stuff like that heading into March, so you can really see. Because all it takes is momentum, bro. When you get hot at the right time, like, hey, I didn't see upsets from the 8th seed to the 1st seed in the NBA before. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. So I'm gonna say no cap.
I'm not mad at it. I'm with a no cap too. I mean, talent prevails 90% of the time, and I think that'll happen again. This season.
Yeah. And I think it's also a hope that we all want as NBA fans as well, like, and want to see the best of the best and want to see a LeBron and KD matchup as well. Because, it's been, I'm not going to lie, like, I've enjoyed this regular season. There's also been a nasty regular season as well. Like, it's, some things have happened that's just like, But
also, I wouldn't hate to see, excuse me, I wouldn't hate to see a Suns versus Bucks rematch. I wouldn't hate that. I mean,
I wouldn't hate that either. I wouldn't mind a Warriors and the Bucks. I wouldn't mind a Warriors and the the Bulls, or the Suns and the Bulls, like, or the Miami Heat versus the Suns, or Miami Heat versus the Golden State Warriors. Shit, but I do mind a Utah Jazz versus the Bucks. I wouldn't even watch that shit if that happened. We can just end it on that note.
Couple housekeeping items, y'all, for the end of this episode. Again, make sure, you feel me, you hit that 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. All right, subscribe on YouTube, everywhere you get your podcasts. All right, make sure you show love, like, comment, subscribe, all that. 5-star rating. Let's get active. But yeah, just like that, y'all. We gone. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Theus McBee. Make sure you go follow No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.